Babe, wake up. Cat just dropped a new trans memes reaction. No, but seriously. Here's another trans meme video, and one that's twice the size of previous ones. So I hope... Oh, wait. Also, there may be an added bonus to the end for those who stick around. Enjoy the meme, sweetie. Realistic transition goals. Peach. Hey, yo, there you go. Peach as your transition goals? Yeah, there we go. That's amazing. Not mine, but having goals is always amazing. And that's something to work towards. I hope you get there. No, I don't hope. I know you'll get there. You'll get there. Gender envy from normal things. Gender envy from middle-aged dudes with gray hair. Yeah. I mean, whatever it is that you want to strive to be and to look like, then definitely go for it. I don't think there's any right way to have gender envy, period, at all. So have a goal for you to look forward to and work towards that goal. You'll get there. Jenna Wiseford. A peasant girl in a simple dress wanders through the woods, gathering mushrooms and talking to the creatures of the forest, making a point to stop and tell each of the frogs she sees how handsome they are, hoping to alleviate the pain of any transformed princes. She comes to a small clearing with a large rock in the center. The sword is stabbed into the side. What strength this must take. She rushes over to examine the boulder's wound. Writing is chiseled into the rock. Alas, she is illiterate. She touches the stone. A breeze begins to blow through the trees, the clacking of the leaves forming a voice. Whoever draws the sword from the stone shall be king of this land. A king? Surely a prince must be coming to retrieve his sword. She waits for some time before the waning daylight commands her to leave. Every day she returns to wait for the prince, but no prince shall come. She returns again. The dark skies threaten the storm, but determination, more than courage, carries her forward. As she enters the clearing, a break in the clouds bathes the sword in daylight. The voice of the forest returns. Draw the sword. Become who you're always meant to be. Me? A king? No, don't be daft. She grips the sword and sarcastically tugs at it. It budged. Could she have had this strength all along? Rain pelts her face, and cruel winds swirl as the voice of the forest demands. Who draws the sword? Arthur, the preteen whispers, a name only dreamt of previously, now pulling with all the might one so young can muster. The winds become harsher, with small debris caught in their flow. The voice commands, Who draws the sword? Arthur does! He screams as the stone cracks with the sound of thunder, splitting in two and releasing the sword. He holds his new sword to the heavens, the storm breaking apart to fill the clearing in daylight. I am Arthur! Arthur, welcome, the voice whispers, fading, never to be heard again. Oh, just reading that gave me chills. I really love this interpretation, and it's really like a good, to me, I think it's a very good allegory for being trans. Somebody who lives their life not knowing, wishing to have been somebody that they haven't been able to be given the chance to be. Through some encouragement, given the time and space, finally feels comfortable to say their name and to feel themselves is absolutely amazing. I would love to see more interpretations kind of like this. Maybe something like Sleeping Beauty being a trans woman, where biting the apple, even though it puts them to sleep, the spell really just changes them into the person who they really wanted to be this entire time. There are so many stories that I think we as trans people have lost over time due to them being burned, and having things like this is something to cherish and to love, because it is a interpretation that allows for us to see ourselves. So Jenna, thank you. Absolutely amazing, and I hope to see more stuff like this from you. Visualizing in the mirror the person I want to become. Yeah, I myself don't want to be like Barbie. Honestly, the person who I kind of saw myself more like was going to be Hayley Williams, which, by the way, if you don't know who Hayley Williams is, may I introduce you to our queen, the lead singer of Paramore. Like, this was a vibe that I honestly was going for. But no, I feel this. Also, I really want to say that the Barbie movie put a lot into what it means to be a woman for me. I cried so many times during that movie. Your womanhood is not defined by how frail or fragile or how feminine you are. It's defined by the way that you carry yourself and the person that you want to be. You are strong, you are powerful, and you are a light that shines bright for others. So keep that in mind. Our 1-year anniversary being out. Us. Yeah, okay, so I know my HRT anniversary is on a not so well cheered upon day here in the United States, but I still feel so happy for myself that I got this far and that I can celebrate those days. Whereas, I don't know, like, I just really enjoy the person that I am, and it makes me so happy just to be myself. And I'm sure a lot of other people feel that same way. A lot of other people have had to struggle more than I have, and I really wish that they hadn't. But getting to that point and getting to be able to be who they are is something to be extremely proud of and to be very happy with. So I want to say congrats. If no one has said this to you yet, I just want to say that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for making it to this point. Keep up the good work. You're doing amazing, sweetie. I really hope you know that. When it turns out you're already over 10 weeks on E, yeah, now imagine 3 years. Time flies by when you're actually happy with the person that you are. Congrats on the 10 weeks. That's absolutely amazing. You only thought it was 5? Oh, sweetie, you're gonna get so close to a year and you're gonna lose your mind. Nobody. Me, trying to convince the doctor I'm trans enough to get my boobs removed at an affordable price. I hate how expensive trans medicine is. The worst part is it gets written off as being cosmetic. It's not. That me being on HRT is just for cosmetics. My mental health is not something to be commodified and not something to be taken lightly. Neither is the mental health of all my other trans siblings. So many of them have not even gotten to be able to get to this point, and they never will. All because the system doesn't treat us fairly. I don't want any other siblings of mine to have to suffer just so they can be themselves. And yeah, I know some people might regret, but the percentage of the people who regret transitioning is so minute in comparison to those who are happy being themselves. The thing is that everyone who transitions, as soon as they start HRT, they know if it's right for them or not. They know as soon as they're perceived socially as a gender that they would prefer, if it's right for them or not. If you don't believe me, why don't you look at Amanda Bynes and how she felt when she had to present as a man? The feelings that she felt and the way that she looked at herself is gender dysphoria. It's real. It can happen to cis people just as much as it can happen to trans people. People, we deserve our meds, and we deserve for them to be covered by insurance. Me, when I evolved from being a straight guy to being a bisexual guy to being a trans lesbian, I just went from being a straight guy to a trans lesbian. But everyone has their different path. Everyone goes through different routes. I think Alana Joy put it perfectly. Shout out to her, by the way. But there's never a such thing as a phase. There are you trying to figure out who you are, and the person that you thought that you were is still you, and that honestly should never change where your journey goes and where things take you. It's just that. It's a journey. It was never a phase. The things that you had to learn about yourself to be able to get to the point that you are at now, it's amazing. And you should be proud of the fact that you were able to get to those points. I'm proud of you for being able to explore your identity and to find out who you are. I'm happy for you. I hope you're happy for yourself as well. How testosterone got me like,
I'll take 3 lunches today, please.
yeah, second puberty really does hit, but in a way that makes you feel extremely comfortable and like you want more of it. So I'll triple the number of patches that I can pick, please. Thank you very much. Corbett needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture.
They're the same picture.
Yeah, yeah. I just see bucket and bucket. What are you talking about? Like, what more do you want from me? Yeah. They're losing it. Fox News' Jesse Waters. When a man votes for a woman, he actually transitions into a woman. Oh, well, maybe I should have been voting for every woman that I've seen on the ballot. If that's how that works? Yeah. I mean, that's every reason for me to vote for a woman. Well, unless she's, you know, a Republican. Ugh. Republicans. The GOP. This is your reminder. Go vote. If you want to see change, not voting's not going to help it. Voting does. And it doesn't matter if you win or lose. Doing your civil duty helps. And yeah, if you can get enough word out to vote for the people who will actually make change, that also helps. Be active. Get out there. Be vocal. Be heard. Just remember, Stonewall was not a celebration. It was a riot. And if we have to riot again, we can. And we will. We should. Me. Do I want to be him or date him? Any hot guy. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is me with women. Like, I see a woman, I just go, am I just envious of how she looks? And I want to look like her? Or do I want to date her? And like, nowadays, it's not even the fact that I have a wife, but nowadays, like, I look at people and I go, yeah, I found this person attractive. I don't want to look like them, but they were very attractive. And other times, I'm just kind of like, oh, wow, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes because that's a really good outfit. I wonder how I'd look in that. I'll have to look later. What if I told you I was trans? I wouldn't care. You'd still be my friend. Oh, thank God, I can take off. I'd still see you as my bro. 1 egg later. Maybe he meant bro isn't friend? Why did he say bro? Did he mean he would still see me as a guy? But out of all the gender neutral names, he picked bro? Yeah, that's always hard. Like, people say, but it's gender neutral. Yeah, maybe some people, but not to others. Not everyone sees it as being gender neutral. Maybe he meant it as a friend, maybe not. I know whenever I first came out, one of my friends said, proud of you, man. And I kind of just sat there in our group chat and was just like, woman? And then he was like, yeah, sorry, habits. And I'm like, no, it's fine. It's fine. You recognize that you made the mistake. It's okay. And my other friend said, yeah, I had to hold myself back from doing that. And I just kind of like laughed. I was like, yeah, yeah, if... I know for some people that they use the term bro like to be gender neutral, and I know I do it as well, but people should respect others and not be using that term unless otherwise like given the A-OK. It's really not that hard. I hope for you and for the sake of you that it wasn't meant to be anything else outside of just a gender neutral term. But if they are purposely misgendering you, then they are not worth keeping around. You can find better friends. Getting mail addressed to dead name. Getting a birthday card with your chosen name. Yeah, I still get mail with my dead name, and I'm just kind of like, who is this? No, that's me. And there are other times where like I'll get mail, even if it's just like junk mail with my preferred name on it, and I'm just like, it's me. Let's go. So, but yeah, it feels so good to say my name. Chosen family is still family. Yeah, this is something that I've had to talk about a lot on the stream, but because a lot of people ask me the question, how do I come out as being queer, trans, gay, whatever it may be that you identify as? One of the first things that I say is just know that the family that you choose is far more important to you than the family that you were born to. Those who actually care for you and those who will love you for the way that you are will always not be your blood family. It will be the family that you have found in your journey and along the path that you have taken. Friends that you have met, those who you cherish the most, and those who cherish you are truly your family. There's a big gathering in my friend group, and I gathered the courage to come out. I'm gonna wear my trans hoodie as a conversation starter. Its design is way too subtle and nobody notices. Its design is way too subtle and nobody notices. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, sometimes I feel like you have to just hit people with like the I'm trans or I'm gay just to like actually get people to realize that the thing that you're trying to do is come out. Whenever I came out to my aunt who had passed from cancer recently, I was like, yeah, I just wanted to say that my name is now this and I'm now going by these pronouns. And she kind of just sat there and was just like, excuse me, Kat? What does this all mean? And I was just like, I'm trans. And she was just like, what's that? Her daughter was with her and just like punched her shoulder and was like, Mom, she's no longer a man. She's a woman. My aunt just went, oh, baby girl, why didn't you just say that? So some people are just a little slow and it takes time, but I know being like subtle, it kind of, you want people to notice, and it doesn't feel great when they don't notice. But at the same time, sometimes it will end up like in the moment I was just kind of like, oh, and I was very forward with my aunt as well. But from years from now, you will look back upon that moment and you will get a good laugh being like, how did they not know? How did they not know? Come on. It wasn't that subtle. So what's your name? Name. But that's a male name. The only correct response after hearing somebody's name. Okay, there are two correct responses. First response, oh, that's really cool. Name, how have you been today? Or, cool, what are your pronouns? Because a name doesn't always tell you the gender of the person, and asking them what the pronouns are can be extremely helpful, and just be able to, one, gender them correctly, but two, making sure that they feel euphoric. Like, it's really not that hard. Being kind to other people should not be that difficult. Jake, dude, you never should have bet on the Mets to have won that game. I really thought they had this one. You do make a pretty cute Dorothy, though. Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna go grab a drink. I need it. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I can never be mad at someone on their way to us.
That's the best one I've heard all night.
Be honest with me. Why are you dressed as Dorothy, though?
Well, I lost a bet, and these were the stakes.
Well, now you know that you shouldn't gamble, but honestly, you look really cute. You are pulling it off.
Wow, I actually really like this. I like her. And I would honestly like being in this dress if it weren't for my friends ripping on me.
Hey, would you want to come out back for a cigarette?
Sure.
I'm Luna, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Luna. I'm Jake. All it takes is just one person. Just one person to believe in you, to make you feel comfortable the way that you are. And, you know, sometimes it could be the black cat goth girl or a golden retriever person that just questions you in a way that you have to think about the thing that just like politely questions you in a way that makes you think about who you are, but gives you the space to figure it out without feeling pressured. I was Jake not too long ago, and my wife was Luna, and she allowed for me to just explore my identity without feeling judged or criticizing me or making any comments that could force me to turn around and potentially revert, fall back, deny who I was. And I think this comic illustrates that very well. I really, really enjoyed this, and I want to say thanks to my friend Marcy for Luna in this comic. If y'all haven't already, you should go check her out. She's usually live over on Twitch at Marcy Chai. Wonderful person, amazing voice, and just, I'm so lucky to call her my friend. Mind my own business, sitting at a bar. Are you a man who wishes he was a woman, but you dismiss it because you don't consider yourself feminine enough? Do I know you, miss? What are you even saying? Or are you a woman born with a man's body, and that body is why you never felt you could fully call yourself a woman? Huh? Oh. This kind of goes back to like whenever I was trying to like first figure out if I was trans or not. This was a question that popped into my head for sure. I was trying to figure out like who I was and what community made more sense for me. I looked at femboys, I looked at drag, and I looked at being trans. And the various stories that I read for being a femboy and for being a drag queen never really like clicked with me. But every story that I read for a trans person, I could deeply relate to. And so the question that I had to ask myself was I just a man who wished I could do more feminine things? Or was I truly a woman who has been trapped in this man's body, trying to finally break out and be my actual self? And it took me some time to think about it, a few therapy sessions as well. But I finally came out the other side much more firmly knowing who I was and believing in who I was. And later in life, more specifically when I went to go watch the Barbie movie, I really got a sense of who I am. But yeah, this is a question that was hard to answer at first, and I finally came out the other end knowing my answer. I'm a woman, and I'm so happy to be one. You play gacha games and feel happy for pulling a 5-star character. I play gacha games and feel gender indie from the girls. We are not the same. Shit. Yeah, no, I don't at me for the fact that my entire party in Genshin has been nothing but women, and it's all women who I wish that I could be. But I mean, have you seen the women in these games? Have you seen how they look? How could you not be envious? I mean, look. They're just, ugh. I just want to be like them. That's it. Is that too much to ask for? Just be a tomboy. Nah, yeah, for all my trans guys out there, like that's not how this works. That's not how any of this ever works. I understand that for some people it's a lot, it's a huge change for them, but at the same time, the person who is transitioning, it is a huge step for them. It means that they can finally be themselves and be the person that they're meant to be. And that is something that I think we need to really cherish and that we should uphold and like celebrate. I get it. The person's losing somebody, but the thing is they're not just losing somebody. They're gaining somebody who is a happier person and who is going to be more themselves than the person that they are losing. Realistic trans goals. Goth Rosalina. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, wait, hold on. That is a vibe. That is a vibe that I definitely would. I'm gonna refrain from comments, but all I'm gonna say is that is a vibe, and I really do, would want to be her and would want to date her. Anywho, me and the autistic woman I am pulling by being autistic. Wow. Alright, so this is me and my wife, but the question is, who's who? Am I the one with the blue hair, or am I the one with the red hair and my wife the other? I'm the one with the blue hair. I would be waking up to T being on top, cuddling me, just looking at me and just be like, hey love, silly little bloodsucker. They should invent HRT that gives you fangs. I totally would not be down for that. Nothing that, no. There's nothing that could make me want to have that at all. Nope, nope. Hey, so, sorry it took me a little longer to make this one, but I kind of got hit with some really bad feedback on an interview that I had recently, and it threw everything off for me. So I want to say thank you to everyone who left me some kind words, and thank you to everyone that understood and is patiently waited for this video to come out. I did see a couple of questions asking if there is a Discord server, and the answer can be found on Twitch, which, by the way, you can come join and partake in silly moments like this. Get around, loser. Yeah, get around, loser. No, I'm kidding. Do get around, but don't. You're not a loser. But other than that, I hope you enjoy the rest of these memes. Me, when I started to notice breast jiggle. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, it was more like, ow, gay breast jiggle. Chest growth. Pros. Yay, boobs. Cons. Oh, boobs. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of chest pain from my breast anymore, but like when they were growing, I was just constantly like, the pain, it hurts, but boobs, yay. So, all in due time, it gets better, and definitely being able to having the stress balls is amazing. Yeah. This is something that we're slightly embarrassed to talk about, but we're here anyway. I'm sure something you've heard of in the trans space is IMMV, or your mileage may vary. True words, referring to how one goes through changes on their respective HRT. We'll be referring to the trans swim timeline and our experience on HRT. So many things on HRT change. Skin smoothness, sweat smell, decreased muscle mass and strength, body fat redistribution, breast growth. The one we'll be talking about today is the booba growth. As we said, we're embarrassed to talk about it, specifically because we'd rather be on the larger side of the scale. It was, and is, if we haven't plateaued, very affirming to feel the growth and see visible changes over time. Though, in the last few months, growth has definitely slowed or stopped. And that's fine. Your mileage may vary, like some cruel lottery, but we can't help but feel like it isn't enough, especially since we're a larger person IRL. The weirder thing is that we feel shame talking about this, or something, just, we don't know. Like there's something wrong with wanting that, or even talking to others about it. I feel this. I feel like my breast growth has also stopped, and it's kind of frustrating because I do want more, at least enough to like have more shape to my body. And I just want to say that you shouldn't feel bad. Yes, your mileage may vary, but there's no reason to feel shamed on what your cup size ends up being. It does come down to genetics, unfortunately, but you can still work with a lot of things regardless of how much you have. It doesn't define how much of a woman that you are. I also just want to say, to kind of add into there, something like breast growth really depends on your genetics and when you start. So genetics is always going to play with how large they get to their maximum, but when you start HRT can also impact how much breast growth you get, because as the decades go on, it becomes less and less and less. So when you start in your teens and 20s, it's about the same. Your 30s is less, your 40s is less, your 50s is less, and your 60s and 70s and 80s is even less. And that's not to say starting later is bad. I started late. I started in my late 20s, and I really didn't see any breast growth until about a year and a half in. And that could be from the fact that I was being underdosed with my HRT, but wanting more is not something to be ashamed of. There are surgeries to help, and you can always explore those as an avenue. But yeah, it's never too late to transition. It's, there are things that you have to consider, and there are things that you have to weigh. If it's something that is feasible for you and something that you are wanting to do, then I think you should try doing it, giving it a go. Weigh all your options, of course. Taking that step forward is something that should help significantly with the person that you are. Transfem height chart, corrected version. If you're 6 foot or over, you are a goddess. If you're between 5'8" and 5'11", you are a queen. And if you're between 5'3" and 5'7", you are a princess. I'm right between being a goddess and a queen. Where do you fall? Because either way, you are absolutely fantastic and amazing, and definitely one of these. And I guess I should say, for the trans mask version, you are a prince, you are a king, and you are a god. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. How tall I feel as a girl, how tall I feel as a guy. Hey, listen, we still stand short kings here. I don't care if you felt extremely tall as a girl, which, by the way, for all my tall trans girls out there, hell yeah, we love a tall queen. We love short queens too, but we love tall kings and short kings just alike. So, but yeah, I feel this. I'm 6 foot the last I checked. I can go check probably right now and see. Hold on, let me just go check my height. Probably 5'11" now, but I feel extremely tall compared to other women. And then I'll see a cis woman who's taller than I am, and I will look at her and I go, she looks great. If she can do it, so can I. And so for all my short kings out there are plenty of men out there, cis men, who are short, who are 5'5" and shorter. They're still men. Yeah, it's not fair, but at the same time, king, you got this. Life has really changed since I came out. It's good change, thankfully. But change is always scary, but sometimes one change can bring a whole world of other changes with it. Hey Zeke, what's up? Hey Fern, I wanted to talk to you about something. My job ends in a couple months, so we need to end our release early, and I'm going to be moving to Florida. Okay. We can talk more later, okay? Okay. Yeah, I feel this, especially nowadays. I have been out of my field for a year now, and it was a huge step. Change is something that is extremely difficult to do, and whenever I quit my job over a year ago, I remember I went out to a little shopping area not too far from where I am with my wife. We had lunch, and I think we watched a movie, and on our way back home, I was talking to her about what I was deciding, and we both made the choice to call my mom to talk to her, because my mom had also just recently gone through the same thing. And I cried on the phone to my mom about the situation that I was going through, how I was scared about being able to live and being able to afford the place that we were at and being able to get back into my field, because I didn't know if I could, especially with being trans. And this was before even knowing that there were all these layoffs that were happening. And I was just scared. But after talking to my mom, she reassured me that I would find something when I needed it. And I didn't know what to say at the time, but her words were comforting and they helped me. So Fern, and to every other person out there who is going through a similar situation, things do get better in time. I know they're going to be rough for a bit. Trust me, I have been struggling to try to stay afloat for the past year and have had to dip into my retirement just to be able to continue being where I am currently. But things get better. You will find your way through it. Even when I haven't shaved yet, still a woman. Even when not wearing any of my padding or makeup or dressing overly feminine. Sometimes it's just a lot of work to put on, even if I haven't had any surgeries or started hormones. And I really don't think you should need any of that unless you want it. Even if I am doing whatever it is that I am doing here, I'm probably really bored or being a chaotic dumbass, but still a woman. No matter what, I am still a woman. And for all of you out there, you are who you say as well, despite what others and your dysphoria might tell you. This is so true. It doesn't matter what others think. If you think that you are a man, a woman, or a non-binary person, or that you're gender fluid, or whatever other gender that you might identify as, you are that gender, or lack of gender. There's nothing else anybody can say. And honestly, there are various forms of to being masculine and feminine and being androgynous that there's no need to be any of those. Just be yourself. Be the person that you are. Be proud of who you are. That's all that really matters. Just because I'm trans doesn't mean I'm gay. I mean, I'm gay as fuck, but not because I'm trans. Yeah, I mean, that's true. There are a lot of trans people who are straight or ace, and, you know, they're just as valid as well. And yes, my ace trans people, I haven't forgotten you. I see you. And I have so much love and respect for you. And for all my straight trans people as well. So much love and respect for you as well. I'm happy for you that you can finally be the person that you are meant to be. Listening to Anna's Soldier Poet King cover again. There will come a poet whose weapon is her words. She will slay you with her tongue. Olay, olay, O Lord. My gay ass each and every time. Yeah, I feel this. Anytime that I am listening to my streaming playlist and Madison Beard comes on with Make You Mine, I feel so gay when I hear that song. And a friend introduced me to another song of hers called 15 Minutes, and I'm just gay, all right? I'm just gay. You may not like it, but this is what peak masculinity looks like. Yeah, it really honestly does. I said that recently about about the outfit that I wore out to Boston. But no, I feel it's like, come on. This right here, this is peak masculinity. This right here. You see this picture of me? Yeah, this right here. Peak masculinity, right there. Definitely. I can wear a skirt without immediately doing a skirt spinny. No, you can't, Mrs. Simpson. No trans femme can. Bet. Listen, pencil skirts really don't go spinny very well, alright? They don't spin very well. There are skirts that do spin very well, and yes, I will go spinny in those skirts, but there are some skirts like a pencil skirt. They don't go spinny very well, and I look really good in a pencil skirt. I do enjoy the skirt go spinny though. Gendering myself correctly in English. We're a good girl. Thank you, brain. But you're wrong. Versus gendering myself correctly in Spanish. Pendejas somos. As in feminine? But I insulted us. We hardly even know any Spanish. Don't care. Didn't ask. I'm happy. Let's go play Two Fort. Yeah, I feel this. I had a coworker who primarily spoke Spanish, and when she was heading out for the day, she looked at me and said, "Bye, mija." She left, and I kind of I had a smile on my face because she said mija and not mijo. And one of my coworkers came up to me and was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm fantastic. I'm doing great." And they go, "Why?" I'm like, "Well, because she just said mija for me, which is the feminine version." And my coworker's like, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, "I got gendered correctly. Okay, let me have this." So it's the gendered languages can give moments like that, but there are also moments where it really falls apart for those who do not identify as either male or female. It is great. It is fantastic for those like myself where we finally get validation and that kind of stuff, but they are also lacking. And I know that there have been some people have been looking into it more seriously and trying to figure out a good way to degender those languages so that those who do not identify as male or female can also feel included and also hopefully have moments like this. Today's menu: slept bad, eepy, boobs hurt, feeling uncomfortable, I'm back in my bed. That's me every day. That's even me today while I record. I just want to go back to bed. I just want to rest. I just want to curl up with my blowhigh and my cats and just let the day pass. But at the same time, there are other things that I want to get done, and those things get me out of my bed and get me to do what I want to do. I hope the day gets better for you and that you're able to feel like you can get stuff done. It can be hard, but you definitely got this. Yes, periods. I am familiar indeed. You got period, Sans? Yeah, but not anymore. Don't tell anyone, by the way. Sans is pregnant? Yeah, yeah, that's definitely one way to think about that. Yeah, totally. Yeah, definitely just pregnant. Yeah, pregnant. He totally is pregnant. Yeah, nothing else. There's nothing else that he could be. Not at all. Why would you ever consider that? But at the same time, hell yeah, we love Sans. What a king. How I actually spend the summer break. How I want to spend the summer break. Yeah, well, not like that for myself specifically. But yeah, definitely want to just, I no notes. Yeah, just, I'm very happy to finally be on HRT. Here's a comic I drew for the occasion. I kept repeating this phrase over the course of the last several months. Gone the form of man, rise the demon. Estrogen. Hell yeah. You know, let whatever your HRT be, let it be a ritual. Be a spell that you cast upon yourself to be the person that you want to be, whether it be male or female, or not, neither, or even both. Whatever it is that helps you be that person, do it. I love this. This even leans further into the whole stereotype of, oh, with the trans people, they're demons. Yeah, what of it? I'm sorry, but the last that I had checked, aren't we all supposed to go to hell anyways? For our sins, you know? At least we'll have one hell of a party if all the gays are going to be there. That sounds absolutely fantastic and amazing. That's not as much of a deterrent as you might think it'd be. Me, the second I arrive in hell, where's all my fellow trans people at? Yeah, again, one, I love this character. I love that this character is canonically trans. And at the same time, I mean, hello, if I'm going to hell, at least all the gays are going to be there with me. And we're going to have one hell of a party and one hell of a good time too. What, I'm going to go to heaven where all the straight people are? Or all the cis straight people are? No, sounds boring. Sounds gross. We wouldn't have the entertainment that we have currently if it wasn't for gay people. If it wasn't for queer people. You can't tell me otherwise. Why does everyone say trans girls do programming? Is trans and starts to do programming? I did not choose the programming life. The programming life chose me, and the fact that I am also trans means nothing. You can't link the two constantly. Also, like, not every trans girl is a programmer. Not all, you know. We have our many talents, just like any other group. We have a lot of artists who are very good at what they do. We have programmers like myself. We have people who are really good educators. Being a doctor, being a mess like me, and being a VTuber. But yeah, I get that this is there's a commonality of a lot of trans femmes who can write code, but not all of us can. And for those who can't, it shouldn't make you feel any less of a member of the community than that you already are, because you're not. You are a member of this community and you are a fantastic person. So don't let stereotypes dictate who you are. Me in public trying to figure out if someone is a fellow trans person. I'm no better than a transvestigator. No, okay, but wait, I feel this. There have been a few times where I see somebody in public and I just go, are they trans? I wish there was a way for me to tell. Because like with me, I have my carabiner on and I've got the trans Pikachu tail on me. And also my appearance kind of gives it away more. And so does my voice. But no, I feel this. And it's not like I want to be like, oh, trans person. No. I don't know, like I want to find community, and just being able to find someone who's kind of like me and has experienced the same things as me is something that I would really value out of a friend. And yeah, I don't know, there have been a couple times. I know the one that I recount right now is that I was at a bowling alley and I went to the bathroom, and as I came back from the bathroom, I saw somebody and we looked at each other, and they were at like an air hockey table, and I looked at them and they looked at me and we looked at each other and we kind of both squinted like, are you trans? I'm trans. Are you trans? Are you trans? I'm trans. Are you trans? I'm trans. Are you trans? Yeah. Yeah. And it was kind of it was funny. I walked away from that just smile on my face, just like, I think I got clocked, but in a good way. So yeah, I don't know. I would say the difference between like us versus a transvestigator is like a transvestigator's trying to do harm, whereas us seeking community is much different. And I know everyone might not appreciate getting clocked, but trying to find community I think is always important. So I do feel it's different. Hey, Kat here again, and I just want to say thank you again so much for making it to the end of this video. By popular demand, the next video is going to be our Sappho and her friend. I'm not sure how that will do, but you know, we'll see. And depending on how this video does, maybe that one might be not quite 40 minutes, but maybe a half hour. We'll see. But yeah, here's your blooper and the super secret special ending as well. Trans women can never read this at first glance. Every time I look at it, I think it says gawk. I think it says gawk. I honestly do think it says gawk. I see now it says gridlock, but there are 4 letters that shouldn't be there, and that's what I see. Yeah. God, I need to get off the internet sometimes. Get a little closer, please. No, closer. No, a little closer. Perfect. There you go. A little forehead kiss for you. Enjoy the rest of your day.